Okay, so we are back with a rare upload, and the reason I wanted to make this is because I wanted to have a video of
Always on that darn cue box! Get the fuck off!
Anyway, guys, sorry for that interruption. Yeah, the reason the reason I wanted to make this is because I wanted to have a video of the world we built here, just in case when something inevitably goes wrong with the world or Minecraft itself, we have a record of it. And this world has been in the making for about 3 years, I would say. We didn't play that for 3 years consistently. I was playing this with my brother, but we started about 2020, and over the summers, and it was sort of slowly constructed. The village itself was initially a natural village that the idea was to renovate it a lot, and we really went full on with that. It used to be built on a lake, and I'll add some pictures of what it used to look like years ago. It's been a complete overhaul, and yeah, it's sort of something we've worked on for a long time. These buildings are probably the smallest. I can't do this. I just know you're there.
I'm looking away. I don't want to read.
So, just anyway, what we have here is probably the biggest building in the village. It's the church. Anyway, yeah, so this is a very cool little underground room, sort of nether themed out of this.
Yeah.
And we won't go into the nether because the nether, we haven't ever actually done anything to it. It doesn't look great, but this is a lovely little room here. It's nether themed, it's just how we get in there. And hopefully this works now. Yeah. Yeah, the church, there's our priest, Father Ted. It's a big building, only the sort of ground floor and the second floor is in use. Let's have a look at Father Ted here. Named all villages are. Of course you can't see it because the UI and stuff is turned off, but that is our resident priest. Let's have a little look out here. So yeah, this was built about a year ago. We've added these are new edition, these trees. The update only just came out a few days ago. This is one of the oldest things we've built. There was a tragic accident with about 30 wolves were killed. I won't go into detail about that. It was a very sad incident when we built this graveyard to mark their deaths, and that wolf has been sat there for several years. Yeah, these trees are new. We've got a nice little garden here with some cows. This tree is also new enough. Built for the garden. This tree is part of our shopping district, which I'll get into now. We have a whole sort of semi-functional economy here. The only thing I really sold is wood, and we have about 4 stacks of these coins, and as you can see, I have a very small share of those coins by the end of the world. But it was a nice way of sharing things, I suppose, of trading. And this is blocks and all, which is where I spent most of my money. You can see here, take a look at some of the prices. Some of them are reasonable. And yeah, the village, centre of the village, like little waterfall here, some stores. These are less relevant shops, I won't bother going into that. This is the original building of the village. This was built in, I would say, 2020. We knocked down a lot of the houses that were there, and this is my house that I built ages ago. It hasn't really changed much. The dogs have barely moved position anyway, and the cat's just been sat there and must be very, very cramped by now. I think this is Mora, an elderly woman who stays with me, and have a little look upstairs. There's nothing too much to this house in the interior. This used to be where my brother lived for a very long time before he finally made his own, but we'll get on to that. Yeah. This always used to be the sort of viewing point when we were first making it, but there's several taller buildings at this stage. We'll move on now to the school, another new addition. A lot of people like hanging out near the school. without ever really going inside. They like being around the children. And these British flags, we're not that patriotic, just to establish that. It's just, these are just for decoration. Yeah, this is a nicer room, and as we go upstairs, we'll go into the dirtier, kind of grimy secondary school. Sort of got an old whiteboard here. And we'll move on to the court, which has another 2 English flags up front. This is the courthouse. We even have a little law book, little rule book, which never really got used. The only time that ever came into play is when I accidentally shot my own horse, which is an offence. I had to spend 3 days in prison for that, even though it was an accident. And here we have sort of a political debate room and a lovely little statue. And I'll move on quickly to the library. And next to that, we have our prison area. If I can open that door, we go down here. Yeah, we have a couple of prisons. This is where we put the useless villagers. The cells kind of get progressively worse as you get on, and I won't go in here because that contains our top secret prisoner, who is not allowed visitors, so we'll move on from that. That is the prison. Well, we just need to open this little door over, so I don't have the aimer. There we go. I'll look at the boats in a minute. This is the horse stable, that's new. The pub, of course. Bazza the bartender works here. And it's a fine establishment. This bucket is the puke bucket, which is what our residents use if they're feeling a little ill in the pub, and clearly he looks like he's ready to use it there. But that hasn't been cleared out in a long time. We move on. This is the hospital. This is one of the more eccentric buildings that have been put up. The new cherrywood block just been released, and it's a very eccentric hospital. Very pink, purple. And they are allowed a little bit of privacy. If we squeeze on through here, this is where some of the more sicker residents of the village will stay. And up here, as always, we have plenty of reading opportunities if you're in the waiting room, waiting to see the doctor. A very pink building. The doctor is gay, I believe, which is, he had a big hand in designing this. And this is my brother's house up here. This has also been standing for a while now. I'll have a quick look through here. He has a very extensive storage system. I never really did this. We'll quickly go down here. You can see it's all automatically set up, lots of different blocks. And down here, there's also a little secret room. We'll quickly have a look. Sort of more valuable items will be kept. Got the Ender Dragon egg. Defeated the Ender Dragon a long time ago by now. And a quick look at the stable. Or not the stable, the dockyard, and then we'll finish with a little overhead view. Yeah, so this is the sort of the flagship boat. And again, I know there's an English flag, but that's sort of done, I would say, in an ironic way, more so than anything. Again, not actually that patriotic. We move on through here, little meeting area, and this is where our little army can sleep on our voyages. Not that anyone can fit through the river, but anyway. And of course we've got the other little boat over here, which is also decked out with plenty of flags. And we'll move on. There's a few other impressive things about this world. There's a very extensive sort of industrial area where quite a rich area. This is the village ahead. Also another older build, this one. Where, well, some people might call it slave labour, but I think it was necessary to progress. Have a little look in here. Get that button open. Yeah, so there's an extensive sort of, they're all numbered, but they are taken very good care of. Please don't worry about their well-being. They are free to go, but they choose to stay in their little slots. And this is how we got such great gear. We'll move on past that sort of little secret. None of the villagers inside the village know about it. We sort of keep that hidden from them. And if we want to take a quick little look, over here is sort of where we also have our iron farm, bamboo, sugarcane, all the little industrial farms, and the The way we get string actually is cats spawn into this and get killed straight away. I prefer not to think of it like that. So all these forests are also newly put in. Here's a little aerial view, finish things off. 3 years it took, and we had a lot of fun playing it too. It was a really nice world. Instead of just constantly starting new ones, I thought it was nice to sort of build something better that would be a bit more impressive to look back on. And I'm sure it will be really nice to look back on in a few years. I'll quickly have a little look at the creeper farm as well. And I'm coming up here on the XP farm. This is where we get the creepers would just spawn in and drop down and automatically kill them. So you get infinite XP and gunpowder, which means unlimited fireworks. It's very handy for, you know, when you're making so many builds, you don't want to have to be doing all that on foot. This really just sped up progress a lot. And we are coming back into the city. You can see the labour camp, or I prefer to call it the villager employment area. We'll pass that. Now here's a look at the city again for the last time. Yeah, there's a lot of buildings I didn't show, I didn't want it to be too long. I kind of showed the main ones. A lot of the other buildings were little small ones for the villagers themselves, and sometimes they use them, sometimes they don't. But we have maybe like 10 villagers in here, and they live pretty perfect existence, really, especially compared to how it used to look. I'll have another walk through. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I did really enjoy playing it. We both had a good time, and you know, I have played a lot of Minecraft over the years, but this is the first time that we kind of kept the same world the whole time for an extended period and built something. So I'm glad I did that. And you know, we have kind of completed the objective of building the village. So I don't know if we'll go back to it. We might give you another update video in 2026, but you know, for now, that's all guys. Thanks for watching. And yeah, that's about it. I'll end with a nice image of the completed village.